If you saw it as a failure, you would never do anything. If you first time you learnt to, or was trying to learn to walk, and you got up and you fell down and you thought, oh my gosh, I'm not going to do this again. Well, hello and welcome to the first of this month's Arts and Wellness Cafe, and I'm so glad that you could join me. We've got quite a full program today to look at, and the one thing I do always start with is what you're drinking. I've already finished mine, but I did have some rosemary leaf tea. And what I normally do is I buy a plant and then I harvest from that plant. And for some reason, I don't know what it is, whatever position I choose to put it in, it kind of, maybe I need to repot it. But it kind of starts wilting, and it doesn't last. I've kind of gone through like 4 plants already. Like when I buy the plant, I ration myself the leaves kind of thing, because you don't want to shock the plant by cutting too much off. And so I usually have kind of like 5 leaves, and that does give you a flavor with, I combine it with like black tea and so forth. But today I just had a sprig, and it was like, if you were to count the leaves, it was like 100. That's what it seemed like anyway. But it was so nice, and I was just like, yeah, maybe that's what I'll do as well. I'll buy some loose, so when I want to have like a more stronger tea, and oh my goodness, do you know what really tastes nice with rosemary? What you have to do is, it's best if you've bought an organic orange, because what you're going to do is dry and use the peel. And so you dry the peel. I would normally just, you know, once I peeled the orange and ate it, I would just hang you kind of cut it in a spiral so that you hang it up, let it dry, and then combine that with the rosemary. Oh my goodness, it's so good. It really is. Yes. Anyway, so that was a long roundabout. You might just want a bottle of water. Something that you need to think about, especially for your health. And as you're getting older, we need to make sure that we have put certain things in place that kind of bolster us and enable us to keep our youth. Enable us just to keep yourself supple, keep yourself healthy, hydrated, and you see that in your you know, your skin and everything. And I haven't yet begun to glisten yet. I was in the garden. Do you fancy, should we go out for a quick before we kind of settle in, because there's other things that I want to do in the studio, but I don't want to go into them and then break. But yeah, so let's go out in the garden. I'll show you what I was doing this morning. And I always end up feeling mashed, because I spend about 2 hours kind of, you know, working out in the garden. I'll show you what I did today. So let's go. Oh, so here we are. So we recently had the guy come and cut the grass, but let me show you what I was doing. Okay, so in the garden we have lots of aloes. I've been growing lots of aloes, and I thought I was going to start an aloe farm. And this particular spot here, there was loads of grass that had grown, and it just looked unsightly. In the middle there was a shack tree, and I had it cut because it was too close to the well. So every now and again I have to come and cut back, because obviously it's still growing. I thought, do you know, when they said they were going to come and remove it, I thought, yeah, all of that would have gone, and maybe you had to pay the premium price. And if you look here, you see the root, so the big long root. Anyway, so I cleaned this up and moved everything, moved all the grass, and that's what's in there for the moment. So in there is a bird's nest. That's the first bird for it came at the end of October and built the nest in there. And these plants are called Quadrilla indica, and I've cut them to be this shape because they normally grow. Let me show you the other one. See, Cole. Oh dear, he likes it out here as well. But I've got a really tall one just here. So they do grow tall, and it's quite an invasive plant because it produces these, what would you call them? Seed pods, basically. And then I thought the birds were eating them, but they were just scattering themselves around. There aren't any on this at the moment. So I said to myself, well, the others that grow, I would just keep them at that height. See? And then the birds started to come. And so it was just like, oh, okay. So, you know, they were building their nests. It's hard because what I do is I cut away around it, so it's hard for cats to, there's that, my neighbour's got a couple of cats, and all of this, I cleared all of this today. And these aloes started off as one plant. I planted 6 along here, and look how they've kind of just grown. Even one that I moved and hadn't yet put in the ground, and then over time it's just said, alright, if you're not going to put me in the ground, I'm going to sort myself out. And then I just want to keep checking on my sweet sop tree. So we've got about 4 or 5 fruit, and can you see that one up there? There's 2 up there. Let me come from a different angle. Oh. But I'm just keeping an eye on this. Oh, yeah, so there's one there. They look quite nice. That one up there. There's 2 up there. And I'm saying, do you know what? I want at least... There's, yeah, about 6 on the tree. I want 4 of them. The monkeys can, you know, have... the monkeys can have 2. Because they had all of the rest before. Whew, but yeah, let's just take it in and feel the calmness of the garden. What I'd been doing with the aloes, again, because it's been growing so quickly, especially in the when it's the rainy season. So in terms of using them using them in your hair, using them on your body. You could make a face mask with turmeric and the aloes. Maybe even put the beeswax in there so it kind of sets. Or maybe it won't set because of the heat from your body. Anyway, so it's making use of these things that, you know, are growing quite profusely. But I feel like when I'm out in the garden, I don't like throwing away seeds. So it's just like, that's why there's so much growing. And then the birds have been gifting me. I think last week I showed you, not last week, but last month I showed you some of the palms that they've been, as I say, we've got about 6 palms. I grew from seed, and I need to put that in the ground, but date palm around. And then I didn't show you, should I show you the coconut? Let's go and see the coconut. So this is the coconut palm, and I just totally forgot that, yeah, it's kind of a palm tree as well. The coconut, but we've got... have you taken enough of it in yet? It's never enough, because, you know, it just... Especially if you're feeling just kind of like, you know, I don't know, any tightness, heaviness, just, you know, been focused on something, you need to kind of spend time just relaxing and de-stressing, grounding yourself. So that's where I sit, and I just come barefoot and just sit out here and just take it in. So now we've got to get back. Cole's had his wander, and he likes just to wander around and sniff sniff things. But this is the side of the garden that's always usually very shaded out here. As I say, the mornings it's less let me take it in and more of, okay, these tasks need to be done. So I've been trimming a lot in the garden, trimming back, and even like this tree, the moringa tree above, needs to be trimmed, but I need to wait until I get and I've identified one, a chainsaw. Come. So let's go back in and get on with some of the work. Okay, so that was nice, wasn't it? I mean, that even felt really nice, a nice little break for me. So, the word for the month, for this month, is intuitive. And we do have some questions that I want you to ponder and to think about, but like, what is that? What is it you feel about that word intuitive? Like, it's, you're thinking about your intuition, and do you trust your intuition? And I think it takes time for us to really not second guess ourselves all the time and say, okay, well, this is what I feel is needed or should be done. And sometimes we can be off. And so for me, that would mean that I go out into the garden and think about how it is I want to express myself in the world. And so my expression comes in a variety of ways using creativity. And so I have to, I exercise the intuitive muscle. And sometimes a thought comes to you about a certain thing, and it's like, am I imagining this, or is this, like you sense something, and it's not to discount it, but maybe leave it in a place where park this here for now and not make any judgment, whether it's a negative or positive thing about that thing. So I think it's something that you have to work on, because we're in environments where using your intuition could be frowned on, could be discounted, discarded, not seen as anything. But if you want to start using your intuition more, then it is you have to practice. Like I do that with my work. I don't set out saying, okay, this is what I want to create. I allow it to come, and I follow the lead that or the journey that I've been taken on, and I say, okay, well, I think this, and then if it's positive, like if I'm in the zone, it's like all these buzzwords. So if I'm feeling, yes, okay, that's where it should go, then I keep going and work on it. And then the things that usually come out, it's just like I would never have planned it like that. That's not something that I would have planned, but it's because I've allowed my intuition in there and given it room and space to breathe and say, okay, on a deeper level, this is where we're going. And subconsciously, it's like you have to say, well, okay, I'm going to follow the threads and think about that. So it's something to think about. And one of the questions would be, how has technology influenced the way you create and share your mixed media art? So I think that technology, to some extent, in my, not necessarily in when I'm sitting down to make something, but it's how I share my art. I will share it on the platforms, the different platforms, and I do spend time, you know, either writing about it, talking about it, sharing images, and sharing it on the different platforms that I have. Like, I've got a course platform. You can check it out. There are free courses that you can have a look at, and guides and things like that. And Patreon, and I have 4 different tiers. Again, one of the tiers is free, that you can come, you know, just come and spend some time. And I want all of these spaces to be a place where people feel encouraged and inspired. And you know, obviously there are ways in which you can support artists, but again, one of the ways is free. You know, come subscribe to my YouTube channel, or, you know, sign up to the free Patreon tier, or come and do some of the free courses and leave a review. Like, those things don't cost you anything. Or like and share a story. So I try and use all the different levels that can reach somebody where they are. And it could be that they've come because they need that inspiration, or they've come because they want to support you financially. So, or, you know, they could buy you a piece of work. So there's so many different ways in which you could support a creative. And for me, I want to be able to support people by the work that I put out and the learning. So if I've learned something and I'm excited about it, because it's just like, oh my gosh, you know, for me, I'm always on a creative journey, looking at, you know, the different things I can make and create, and the different levels of understanding. And it's not only about your artwork, it's about you as an individual and how you're growing, and how you're finding your place in the world, and how it's tapping into your true core self. And I say that because I feel that within us all is so much more than we're actually using. Yeah? So in terms of technology now, I'm going to use it to the best of my ability and learn as much as I can. But so yeah, I think it's definitely important to become familiar with technology and how it can be used, because rather than soaking up all of the negative stuff and the doom scrolling, why not be taking in something that is going to edify you and, you know, help you grow and learn. And a next question is, are there digital tools or software that you consider essential to your creative process? But my creative process, where I'm actually expressing myself with mediums, I don't use any technology. But when I'm blogging, when I'm sharing work, I think there are essential tools that I have. So I will, Canva is one. So I will use tools to edit, to bring things together, to, you know, thumbnails and things like that. I think, and that's just, again, an additional part of my creative process in how I express myself. But again, I just play. It's like, you know, yeah, there are experts out there, and the only way you learn is by, you know, failing fast, or not even failing, but trying. It's not failing, it's trying, it's experimenting. It's, you know, if you saw it as a failure, you would never do anything. If you first time you learnt to, or was trying to learn to walk, and you got up and you fell down and
you thought, oh my gosh, I'm not going to do this again. I'm really not, I've had it.
You won't be walking or talking. And just imagine how you've learnt to, you know, languages, and in terms of all the things that you know, you've had to learn these things, yeah? So, and there are tools which help you and enhance and can enable you to do more things. watching The Matrix and the way that they learn languages. It's just like, I would love to be bilingual, and there are several languages that I want to learn, so it's just like you just have to put in the hard graft at the moment until there's a do you want to plug in a plug-in like they had in The Matrix, and they plugged it in and then suddenly it uploads all these things. But you know, when you think about people who travel to another country and they learn by watching the TV, or they immerse themselves in the culture and they learn the language. I feel that once you've tapped into your gifts and the way that you learn, that learning process, if applied to other things like a language, is a lot easier. So let us shift. We're going to shift to the desk, and I want to show you a few things that I was working on. Okay, so this is a journal. We would normally look through a journal, and I wanted to share the latest project that I did for Second Saturday Art. And I created this page, and it says "Gather Together in My Name," but we've got turtles swimming under the sea. I really liked working on this page because it involved a lot of doodling, and I had recently, well, not recently, I've had this. It's just a black sketchbook. I've had it for the longest, but never really used it. And then I was thinking, do you know what? You could... Oh, this is my son. When he was little. Wow, I didn't even realise he did so much on every page. Yeah. So I thought, let me bring this out. And again, it's just a really nice way to... Actually, should we do something? It's just a really nice way to play in the in a journal, and thinking about things that you can do that can impact on your health and well-being. So yeah, just, you know, you could make a smaller journal and just have pages where, you know, you take time out to just be present in that moment, and maybe even to gather your thoughts. So get yourself something, it could be a piece of scrap, and I've just got a silver pen here, and I was just thinking spiral, and it's these small activities that when you know, build your kit of these small activities, that they're there for any time you need them. They're there when you need a pick-me-up, or, you know, you just calm your thoughts or encourage yourself. So for every mark, you'd be going, you know, go on girl, you can do it. You can do it. Or pay them no mind. Remember who you are. Remember the gifts that you have. Remember your calling. Remember the light that emanates from you. Remember that you're not alone. And you just play. And that's what it's about. Taking that time out. Because life can be so serious. Life can be challenging. Life can be awkward, difficult. You might be feeling lonely. You might be feeling challenged in a particular way. And just taking time out can make the world of difference. And so you pick yourself up, because it's almost like that, you know, it helps you to... You're saying to yourself, come on, I've got you. When you spend time in your creative activity, you're saying, don't worry, we've got this. You're not alone. You're fantastic. You're beautiful. You're an amazing individual. You have so much gifts and talents. You have so many qualities that are amazing, and you could get all of that just from spending time doodling. Yeah. Now, even as I'm doing this, like, I might say, oh, you know, like, this has only taken a few minutes, and I could say, oh, do you know what I want to do now, which is what I do often, is I round off the edges so there's no kind of like sharp edges, and that's another soothing activity. You don't have to do it, but it's something that I like doing, and it's almost like it, I don't know, it feeds into a part of you that just needs, it's like the finer detail, it's like somebody noticing you, but you're noticing yourself. It's not, you're not reliant on somebody to say, I see you, but you're seeing yourself in this because you're paying attention to detail. That's what I think. And when you pay attention to this detail, your mind, your body, you're telling yourself, you're showing yourself love. Anyway, so we're going to put that aside, but that's essentially one of the things that I did with this. I spent time, and I'll put the link to the video, you can see it, where I take these, create the turtles, and then do the doodling. Got the sunshine coming through, but what I've been doing is sharing pieces of work. This is called A Heart's Reflection, and looking at some of the elements that I've used. So the main element of this one is the fabric, and as I said, I shared it in Material Musings because it's about working with fabric. And this one's called Home, and we've got fabric on this, we've got cardboard, and one of the things that I wanted to pick up in some of the work was some of the materials used. So this one is called They Came to a Troubled World, and I do go through it in more detail in Material Musings. And so looking at some of the elements, so I'm then going to look at, say, you know, I've used cardboard, so how have I used it, and how can you use it in your mixed media work, and all the different types, there's different types of cardboard, so again there's different techniques and things that you can make. And so it's really kind of just breaking things down like that. You may not ever want to make a piece like this, but you might want to use the cardboard, and or you might want to use fabric in a particular way. So in the coming weeks, what I'll be doing is just breaking down some of the artwork, and we're going to be in Material Musings doing just a fraction of the techniques that you can do. I will be adding some guides to the course platform where it will go into more detail, and there will be like specific courses linked. So I've got a Creating with Cardboard course where I make small bookcases, and yeah, you can see that on my course platform, but I thought I would share that. The other thing that I wanted to share, and I've done a review of it already, and I've put it, it's on Amazon, and I'll link that. Yeah, so I'm going to be showing you this book, and I have, we've just finished making Zen. I started playing about with some of the yarn that I had, and I wanted to see all of the different things that I could do with it. And so I remembered that I had this book, and it's like, you know, about hand spun yarn, and it was just like all of this, looking at all of these, it brings me so much joy. Creative spinning, modern patterns, and as I say, I did do a review of this, and there are things that you can make. But yeah, I was looking through I was inspired to make something. So I was making, actually I'll show you, you get a sneak peek. I was making these, and so I was like, I was looking through the yarn, and I was thinking, yeah, I've got yarn that you can, you know, add all of these lovely elements to, and then add jewelry. On the course platform, I'll have a pre-sale of, you know, making more complex pieces, and yeah, having fun with them. And I'm still playing, so I wanted to show you the yarn. And then I thought, oh my gosh, let me get this book out, because there's so many cool ideas of how to combine them, and then you can combine them with different things and then use them in creative projects. So let's just have a quick look. So here we are, and as I say, you know, some of these are really quite pretty. I really liked, and that you can see is a combination of these yarns. So I went to the craft store and I found these, and then I started combining them and combining the colors, because yeah, you can have it singly, yeah, but then what you can do is combine the colors, and this I just crocheted that together. And then I thought, let me see what the other colors would look like. So I've got this one, the yellow and red. I've got grey and pink, grey and yellow. But you can add them to projects, and then, or you can add them to journals. So I've got that one. And then I thought, oh, you know, you could quite easily add them to an end of a journal. I could either stick that, or I could sew it. I could use it as, you know, like an insert, like a bookmark thing, or I could use it to hold papers together. There's so many things that you can do, and I'm just like, yeah, it's not just crochet. And then you've got this book, which, let me just flip through. Look at this. Look at that. Doesn't that look gorgeous? It does to me. Look at that. Oh my gosh, combining it with beads. So I could take some of the fabric beads and add, oh my goodness. See, so looking through something like this just fills me with so much, I'm so inspired by it. This reminds me of the work I've been doing with the felt, and maybe I could incorporate that. And you know what I might need to do? I might need to pay the craft store another visit and see what other colours they've got, because yeah, I'd like to put in some blues in there and some browns. Oh my. Okay, so that's all of the excitement for that. And then have you got an everything container? This is one of my everything's containers. So when I'm creating with the beads and stuff, and if there may be one left over, I might put it in here so that I can put it away later on. And then sometimes they get left in there. Okay, so that was a project and a half. I'm looking forward to using the beads. So I wanted to end with a tip for the week. We're hoping to get another Arts and Wellness Cafe in. So the tip for the week is continue to learn, experiment with different forms and shapes to your work. And I think that is so important, that you continue to learn, continue to look for ways in which you can learn new information. So it might be, that's why I love going to exhibitions and seeing the work of other artists, because there's so many things that you can learn when they do their, when they talk about their work, when they share their work. And then sometimes, you know, if I'm really captivated by something that somebody's done, I'll go to their, you know, social media, their website. Have they created videos? I love it when an artist has created videos and talks about their work. Connecting and collaborating with other artists. There are a variety of different, as well as mine, my course platform, the Reality Arts Academy. There are a number of places that you can, you know, go, and loads of artists are creating online courses. And there's an organization in Barbados here, it's called the NTI, and they also have courses. They're connected also to Coursera, who, you know, you can take their courses from anywhere in the world, so I'll leave their link as well. And the platforms that I teach on, so I'm currently doing the Gratitude Junk Journal with T.R. Smith. I'll leave that link there, and any other link that Fodder School. So I was previously a teacher on Fodder School 4, and I'm also providing some bonus lessons on Fodder School 5. So I'll leave the link below. I created a series of foam stamps, and KP, who's the owner of Art Foamies, she also does kind of, you know, technique videos in using the foam stamps, so I'll leave her link. The Making Zen, the next retreat is in May. But it's to just see where there are courses that inspire you. You know, you don't have to take my course, you don't have to take a paid course, you can take free courses, but there comes a time where you might say to yourself, actually, you know, no, I want to learn more, I want to take this further, and so you start investing in yourself. But in the meantime, there are free courses and free resources that you can access. And I've got some guides on my course platform as well in the Arts Resource Hub. So, you know, if you join us, you'll always have something that you can do and something that you can learn. But check out some of the other places that I've mentioned and see how you get on. So I hope it's been quite a marathon. And it's just important, you know, I'm going to be leaving the timestamps so you can jump, or you can just listen, or you can just have it on where you know, just have me in the background chattering away, or get a cup of tea and sit down and do your favorite craft while you listen, and, you know, even maybe craft along with me. So I look forward to sharing towards the end of the month another Arts and Wellness Cafe. And one of the things that I really, really want to do is create some Arts and Wellness Cafe short magazines. But there'll be, you know, obviously sections where you can journal, there journal prompts, there are activities that, you know, if, say, again, it's been something close to my heart, looking after my mum who was living with dementia, and she's no longer with us, and it's just like it's been 3 years, and it's just like I'm still sometimes even talking as if, you know, she's still here and I'm still doing some of the stuff that I used to do. So I used to work with the elderly with dementia and provide art workshops, and it's, I guess those things for me are so, you know, in the foreground, because it's about doing stuff for your health and well-being. So it doesn't matter whether you're caring for somebody or not. There are activities that you need to do. You need to go out into nature. You need to feel the sun on your skin, or there may be an activity that you might need to, it might need to be adapted slightly. So I want to make sure that I have those things available, so that if you can't do it, you know, because you may have a disability, then there are variations of the technique so that you can access it. And that was one of the other things that was brought to my attention. Now, it's something that I wanted to do anyway, and it was to provide closed captions for my videos, my tutorials, and my online course lessons. Here on YouTube, you have that automatically. It's automatically done, and you can edit it. It can be put in different languages, but somebody had said, you know, on your course platform, I'm finding it difficult because you don't have this. And it was just like, wow, yeah, that there's a whole section of the community that if you don't put these things in place, they can't access it. And so I've started. And it's so going forward now, every course that I do will have it, and I will work through courses that are up there at the moment and do that. But I think that's something that's so important, you know. It's just like, and it's something that you don't think about until you either know somebody or somebody brings it to your attention, or like I had still having a bout of tinnitus, and it's constant ringing, and it's just like, then you go into situations where people are talking like that, and they talk like with a really, you know, they talk with a really low tone, and it's just like, what? And you turn it up, and it wasn't until it happened to me, and as I say, you know, I'm still kind of experiencing it even now. Like, there comes a point where you adapt and you shift your focus, but because I mentioned it now, I can hear it. It really did. The lady that brought it to my attention, I appreciated it, because it was something that I said to myself I was going to do and then just hadn't. And now it's just like, no, I want her to be able to enjoy my course. I want her to be able to do all the things. And yeah, so it's making it accessible to all. So I hope that with all of that, you are blessed that you're able to take time for yourself to learn. Remember, we've got a load of learning links below. Try and check them out, and I just encourage you to do as much as possible. There's no reason to stop learning. It doesn't matter how old you are, you can always learn something. And even in the midst of the dementia, my mother learned lyrics to songs. She was singing one of Take That's songs, I Want You Back, because she came home one day and she was singing this song, and I was just like, Mum, where did you hear that song? And it was that when they sat in the, not the dining hall, but after they've eaten, they sit in this space and they put on the radio, and the radio station would play that every day, and she learned it. Anyway, so take care for now. Let me know what you're getting up to. Let me know what was your takeaway, the most, or if there was an aha moment. And stay blessed and be a blessing. And remember that you have an immense amount of talents and abilities that you need to start pulling out. Yes? Okay, take care for now.